Prime Battle Boo and Bobidi's legendary campaign is on the way, but how do you prepare? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we have the next Legendary and Extreme Challenge campaign for the next Prime Battle LR Easy. That is the Prime Battle LR Fizz, Babidi, and Boo. So we will be going over in this video what you need to do to grind out all of the units necessary to take on this Easy A area and get yourself a whole bunch of free stones process. So let's go ahead, let's jump on in and let's take a look at this campaign. So first and foremost, we will need to grind out several units and grind out the Boo and Babidi in the period from now until the 7th of May. Well, why should you take the time to do that? By prioritizing getting the Babidi fully grinded out and fully decked out, hidden potential and all, by prioritizing that, you can actually take part in this little campaign right here, the Legendary Challenge campaign, which will net you 10 Dragon Stones along with 3 Elder Kais and 2 Hourglasses. Really useful rewards, including the Dragon Stones. So you do want to prioritize that, and they've made it extremely easy to do that. If you've not yet done this grind, it's quite easy. All you have to do is head on over to the Bringer of Destruction and Nightmares and grind out yourself the Babidi through a very long grindable event. So they've made it very easy by having the stamina during this campaign. So while this would normally cost 10, 12, and 25 stamina, we're talking 5, 6, and 12 stamina to take on each stage. Really useful when grinding this out. So load up the stage with your Majin Buu Saga allies. Remember, this is all free to play, by the way, and you can take this on and grind it out. You will need to grind out quite a bit in order to do that, right? In stage 1, you will want to make sure you grind out 24 copies of the Buu of the base form Babidi here, 10 copies for the SA10 copy, another 10 to add in for the SA20 copy, another 4 for the hidden potential for your base copy, and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you'll want 29, another 5 for the SA5 for the Easy A copy. So it is a bit of a grind. It will take a minute to get it all done, but it will be worth it when it is all said and done because of the rewards you get. And you got a decently strong free-to-play option for Boo's team if you happen to have pulled him. So you want to make sure you grind out your 29 copies of the Babidi in stage 1. Then you'll move on to stage 2 here with your Majin Buu Saga team, and you're going to want to grind out, if we show over, the best thing is they do show all the medals here, right? So you'll want to grind out 45 copies all the way up for your SA5 copy, right? So 45 medals, 15 to awaken the first copy, 15 to awaken the SA20 copy, and then another 15 to awaken the SA5 copy. So it'll take some time. The drop rate isn't too bad once you load in with the Majin Buu Saga. Remember, the higher the rarity of the characters you use, the greater the drop rate. Add into that your power level bonus and your boosts or your support memories like your Oolong or your Bolo support memories. You'll get it done in no time. Now for the grind, the hard part of this, right? Because if you haven't done this at all, you only have until the 7th to get the reward. So you're gonna have to put some effort in here, but it will be worth it, right? So for your first copy in stage 3, now that it's 12 stamina, load in with your Majin Buu Saga team, and you will need to grind out 777 of these medals. It will take you a bit to get there, but with the half stamina and all of those upgrades I mentioned before, you can get it done pretty quick. I have gone from 0 to fully Easy A copy in about 3 days time before, so it can be done. Just make sure that you are grinding consistently. Now, you'll need to do another 777 for the second SA20 copy, right? So just know that you're going to have to do this grind 3 times, and it's worth it, right? You don't want to be using LR Kais for free units, so even though it does take time, it is worth it. So 777 copies, that will mean you need 1,554 medals. But you're not done there, because now you still need the SA5 copy. So another 777 for that one would mean you need a total of 2,331. So it will take a minute to get it all done, but like I said, with the stamina halved and all of those boosts from your power level, from using the effective category, and your support memories and your boosts will help bring that time down tremendously. So make sure you do that so you can get your rewards. There are going to be 2 sets of campaign rewards: the legendary challenge campaign rewards, which are only available if you awaken by the 7th, and then once the EZA goes live, there are the EZA challenge rewards. When you fully EZA this character, including feeding in the SA5, you'll receive, usually what it is you get your 5 Elder Kais back, and then another, I think it's 15 Dragonstones actually for fully EZAing. It doesn't happen to actually mention that here, but that's usually how they do it in the past. So you want to make sure you are doing that. And now if you are concerned about not having enough hidden potential, well, guess what? You get 1 attempt on an extra attempt every single day for Fizz hidden potential orbs. So you can get that done pretty quick to get the orbs you need. Just make sure you get it done before the 7th. So now for the hard part, right? Collecting up all the units you need to take down this stage. It is a Prime Battle EZA, which means you need a team full of free-to-play units. Now, the 6 you see here are the 6 you're going to need to take down the event. We are very fortunate this time that what you are being required isn't actually that bad. In the past, we have needed previous Prime Battle LR EZAs in order to take these down, but this time we do not. We just need a whole bunch of Majin Buu Saga free-to-play cards. So it actually makes this kind of easy compared to previous ones. But, I mean, just know that for some of these Extreme Z areas, you may have to be collecting up the other units those areas need in order to complete them. So let's start with the first one that you're going to need. This guy's basically, out of all of these, actually, I think this, if I remember correctly, what is his lead? I think he's Earthbred Fighters lead, so he's actually going to be your primary lead that you're going to run for this anyways, so just keep that in mind. So let's start with the Hercule. Where is he? Super Warrior Memorial. So the Hercule can be grinded out from this event here. The Super Warrior Memorial is from the 8th anniversary. Effective category is Earthbred Fighters. You can load into stage 4 here and grind out your 15. You need 19 copies of Hercule, 10 for the SA10, 4 for the hidden potential, and another 5 for the SA5 for the EZA copy. For the campaign, right, in order to take on the event, your characters have to be rainbowed. They have to be at least SA10 and fully EZA too. That's the only way you can take this down. So note that I will be going over who to grab and how to EZA them. So you have this guy here, grind him out, 19 copies, and then you can pick up his medals on the same stage at stage 8 with a Earthbred Fighters effective category. So pretty generous there. The next character you're going to want to take down and get awakened is the Legacies of the Remarkable Father story event. And again, all of these are now currently available in the story mode tab. So no worries there. So up next, the Legacies of the Remarkable Father. So starting with stage 2, load in with Hybrid Sands and grind out. For this one, you're going to need, it's the same as the Prime Battle, right? You're going to need 29 copies, right? It's going to be a bit, right? So you're going to need 10 for the SA10, 4 for the hidden potential. You're going to need 10 for the SA20, and then another 5 for the SA5 for his Awakening copy. Now, I believe his Awakening, if we come to the medals here, yeah, okay, so for the medals, you're gonna need quite a bit here. You will need You'll need 30 for his regular copy. You'll need another 30 for his awakening, and then another 30. So 90 total in order to get him all the way up to SA 5. So you will need to grind out a bit. It's going to take a while, but if I remember correctly, back during 7th anniversary for this guy, the grind wasn't too bad compared to other ones. So just know that, 90 for these medals here, which can be got on stage 3. And there's a ton of Hybrid Saiyans LRs, so this should make this one pretty easy with all your other boosts in play. And then finally, you need the last set of medals to awaken them all the way up to the LR. You will need 150 of the medals, right? Because you're gonna have to do it 3 times, and those can be gotten from stage 6. So it's actually a pretty easy one. There's no craziness like with a Prime Battle, even though it is an LR. This is a story mode LR, so it actually goes pretty quick. So make sure you take advantage of all your boosts, take advantage of your effective categories, and get it done. Moving on, the next character we're going to need is the Vidal's Flying Technique, the Ent Videl and Gohan. They can be acquired from this event here using Defenders of Justice as your drop category. This one is actually extremely easy, and the effective rate is actually pretty good. So load into stage 1 with Defenders of Justice, recruit your 19 copies here, and then move on to stage 3 and get your medals. I believe for her to awaken your medals, you need 20 for each copy, so you'll need 40 for the EZA copy. So I mean, pretty easy there. This one is pretty easy. Now, if you haven't done this at all, right, there are actually missions to get the Videls for free. Take advantage of that. It'll actually make the grind go a tad bit faster if you haven't done this one at all. Once you're done with Videl, go ahead and move on and do the Great Saiyaman 2 and 1. This one is from the Go Forth Heroes of Justice. So load into the event with Movie Heroes and grind out stage 5, right? To grind out the Great Saiyaman 2 on stage 5. Movie Heroes, probably the most abundant with LRs, so should be pretty easy to pick up that one quick. Now, this one, the medal grind's going to be a bit rough, because you need quite a few different medals for this one, right? But lucky, you can get a couple extra copies of the SA. Remember, you will need 19 copies, 10 for the SA 10, 4 for the Hidden Potential, and 5 for the SA 5. So you will need basically all of these medals. Where is it? All of these medals here. 2 of the Buu, 2 of the Spobovich, 2 of the Gohan, 2 of the Chi-Chi, and 2 of the Hercule. Meaning, in order to awaken both copies, you'll need 4 of these medals total. It's not a lot, but it just means you have to jump into each of those events, right, more than once. And it should go pretty quick with all of your boosts. It will be a bit more time and stamina consuming compared to the others, since each of these is a separate event, right? For the Chi-Chi medals, stage 3, Yamu and Spobovich medals, stage 2, for the Buu medals, stage 6, and the Gohan and Videl medals, stage 4. So it can go quick, but if your drop rate doesn't go well, you might have to run it once or twice. Moving on from there, you'll need to actually take down a Super Strike event. As the next 2 characters needed are the 2 fail tanks, right? The old fail tanks and the fat fail tanks. So in order to pick them up, you simply run through the Super Strike. You will have to grind out. Super Strikes actually do take a bit, so it might take you a little while to get this one done. But if you haven't done it, there's actually a pretty sweet amount of rewards, right? I think there's over 19 stones in rewards. So if you haven't done it, it's definitely worth it now. So you'll get extra stones there. So load into stage 1 here with Heavenly Events and grind out both your copy. I mean, it'll drop more than likely both copies here. So grind out your copies of fail tanks from this. using Heavenly's event. So again, because it is Super Strike, you're actually gonna need a lot more copies than you think. If you haven't done this at all, they'll actually give you a bunch through missions, right? They'll give you a bunch of copies to use that are already at the SSR level to use for missions. So for the SR, I would say just grind out enough to pick up an extra SA 5 copy. So for the SR copy that you're going to get from the first event, grind out one of each till you get 15 of each. So that'll be the easiest way to do it. That'll be your SA 10 copy, and then your SA 5 copy for each that you'll awaken to get your Super Strike all the way up to SA 25. Once you get them awakened, as you awaken them, if you didn't do this event already, it will actually provide you 4 copies of the SSR state for the awakening that you can then feed in for the hidden potential. So you don't actually have to do any extra grinding for that. Now, in order to awaken them to their SSR state, you'll have to grind out several of these medals, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's 7 each, right? So you'll need to grind out 14 medals for to awaken that SA10 and that extra copy that you're going to need in a bit. So 14 of each medal there, and that will get you the total you need to awaken them. Once you're done with that one, move on to the next stage, where you can then, stage 4 and stage 5, where you can then pick up the medals to awaken them to their TUR state. Once you awaken them to their TUR state, you will need 10 and 10, so 20 total for each one. So 40 medals total, right? 20 for the fat tanks and 20 for the skinny tanks, and that will be for your SA 10 and your SA 5, your extra SA 5 copy. Remember, this is a Super Strike, so their super attack can go all the way up to SA 20. SA 20 as a Super Strike, even though they are a TUR. Now, why do you want to do that? Why am I only telling you to grab an SA 5 then? Well, that's because through the missions, if you haven't done this yet, it also gives you an extra 5 SSR copies that you can feed in for the extra SA. So you want to be careful with how you use these. Make sure you're stacking them up properly, because, you know, if you're someone who's low on Bulma or Turtle medals, right, you don't want to be wasting them awakening extra copies. So make sure you're just paying attention to how many of the SSRs that you're using when leveling up this super attack, because you don't want to find yourself in a situation that you accidentally run out. I have done that once or twice before you could actually buy the Bulma medals in the shop. So just make sure you're paying attention when you do that. But it's a bit of a lengthy process, but there's a ton of rewards. Now, with Gotenks done, you can then begin hopping into the Easy A stages, right? You will need to take down, well, since we're on this page, we'll focus on this one. Stage 6 of this Super Strike event is going to be the Easy A stage, right? Where you can take on, you can use any team you want, although I think you need to use a Super Buu and a Heavenly events on your team if you want to get some extra missions to get it done quickly. So just make sure you do that. It's typical Easy A medals, but it does go pretty quick. Get it done, and then you can Easy A both of the Gotenkses, right? With the Gotenkses Easy A, then you can begin moving on to the other 2 Extreme Z areas. So the first of which is the Majin Buu Saga Easy A. Now for the Hercule, because that's pretty much the only one you're going to be doing for this, the Hercule stage here, right? The nice thing is, does it show, I think, info, it might be under info. Yeah, okay, so for the Hercule stage, the only required character is the Hercule, and then you can use any of the available characters here on your team. And again, if I'm not mistaken, Hercule does lead Earthbred Fighters. So yes, that's what I thought. So Earthbred Fighters you can use and build the team out of these guys. Now, if you don't have any of the summonable units, like the South guy here, the Gohan, the Buu Piccolo, or right? This guy, like if you don't have any of the summonable units, there are some free-to-play options you can use, like the new Tech Angel Goku. If you easy aid him, you will... Right, if you easy aid him, then he can be used on your team. If not, some of the other characters, like you're gonna have to easy aid anyways, can be put on the team. These typically aren't too terribly hard. It's just you really got to pay attention to strategy. So I always recommend, if you're somebody who's just now tackling these events with none of the available characters, prioritize units that can seal and or stun. I believe the event can be sealed but not stunned, so definitely prioritize units that can do that so you can get them awakened. And again, from this specific one, the Majin Buu Saga area, you need to clear the Hercule. You'll also need to do the Videl and Gohan, and the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, which I believe is stage 8, and then same thing for this one here. So you will need to grind these out. Now, because the Videl and Gohan also need this guy, you will need to grind his event out, but you don't have to have him fully awakened, fully decked out, but he can be picked up from this event right here. So just make sure you do that. He doesn't have to be fully awakened. You don't even have to easy A him unless you want to, but just know that he is required for that area to awaken the Videl and the Gohan. So yeah, just... You'll have to grind him out. I would say just get his hidden potential up and get his SA, and then just keep him floating. You don't have to go through the process of awakening him. So once you're done there, move on to the harder one. Now there's a reason I'm having you guys I'm saying do this one first, and that is because the final one you're gonna have to do before the Easy A area is going to be for the LR Gohan here. Now for the LR Gohan, you will need to have that Gohan, Trunks, and Goten on your team, and then again you can use any of these characters here. This one's gonna be a bit tougher because every single unit you see right here is a summonable unit, aside from this guy right here and this Vegeta and Bulma. Otherwise, every single one of these other guys are all summonable units. So just be aware that if you don't have the units for this one, it may be a bit of a struggle, but I will say I did start a brand new account on JP back during the 7th anniversary and was able to clear it with just the Gohan LR, and then these two guys easy aid. Like I easy aid one of them while using the other 3, and then I had like a team of SSRs that I had accidentally pulled during the anniversary summon. So really, you can get away with doing it as long as you've got these 3. So make sure you grind out at least the unawakened copies of these to help you get it. But it is a bit of a process. You've got a few days to get it done, but I do recommend you getting a jump on this now, because once you have all of these guys fully awakened, fully easy aid, fully decked out with hidden potential, when the Prime Battle campaign drops, you can take it on. You don't have to take it on at the beginning of the campaign, right? You have until the 30th of the month to take on this campaign. So if you don't get all of these done by the 7th, that's okay. Just make sure you get the Buu and Babidi done by the 7th, so that way you can get those extra rewards. That's going to be the big key thing there. So guys, that is it for the video. I know that was a bit much, but I wanted to make sure I went over all of this with you guys, because I have had a ton of questions in the past about how to get how to take on these events and get the characters needed. So I wanted to make sure I went over it with you guys this. So that's it for the video, guys. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and in the comments down below let me know how excited are you for the LR Babidi and Buu. He is definitely worth his grind, so make sure you get it done. We will be doing Max Link showcases for him once the time comes, so make sure you tune in for that. So guys, if nothing else, thanks for watching and aloha.